right, everybody, welcome back to the channel and welcome to today's video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about slicers again. A few videos back, I had made the decision to move over to Orca Slicer and take advantage of the additional features that come along with that and, the speed at which those features get to the slicer. And then right around the corner from that, Bambu came out with Bambu Studio 2.0. So in today's video, we're going to take a look at Bambu Studio 2.0 and see if there's any compelling features that we should take a look at. Is this something that we need for the H2D? And we'll take a look at anything special about it over Orca Slicer. So if all that sounds good, then sit back and relax, and I'll get everything ready. All right, so here we are on the release notes for Bambu Studio 2.0, and let's talk about some of the features that I think will be really, really cool. The first one is the optimization of filament grouping, and this is only available in dual nozzle 3D printing, so only on the H2D. But this is pretty cool because you can change the distribution of model colors, the sequence of color changes, the differences in flush volumes, and everything like that. And there's a couple of different preset settings that you can change for filament saving, custom mode, and a convenience mode. So let's take a look at what those look like in Bambu Studio. So on top of the new updated user interface here, we will see some added options whenever you select a different printer. So everything looks somewhat similar as far as the options and everything. When I hover over slice plate, nothing happens with the X1C, but whenever I select the H2D, we'll see that over here when I hover over slice plate, we have the filament saving mode, the convenience mode, we need to sync with the printer when it gets here, and then custom mode where we can manually assign filament to the left and right nozzle. So it does look pretty cool in here with the new user interface. I really like how you select the printers and the build plate, and we'll see some different options for the left and the right nozzle as we get prepared for the H2D. And we also see a Fusion 360 like object manipulator down here that I think is pretty cool as well. So let's get into some more of the other features that I think will be super useful. So I think the second thing that it brings to the table, and this is, along with the new printer as well, is the independent parameter settings for each dual nozzle. So this is going to be, super helpful for the left and the right nozzle on the new printer, and, can take into account variations in nozzle types, materials, and settings. This feature is vital to optimize the performance of the dual nozzle printing system, ensuring the best results for each material. So when we get the printer and we start printing with it, we'll dive in more into changing these settings and when and where and why we would want to do that stuff. We'll also see on here that the improved user interface also plays a crucial role. So that does, I think it looks pretty cool and everything like that. So here, let's read a little bit more about the filament grouping function. Filament saving modes, the system minimize filament waste, though users still might have to adjust it. Convenience mode grouping is based on current arrangement of filament and AMS, which may result in slightly higher filament waste compared to filament saving mode. And then custom mode allows users to configure grouping based on custom arrangement order. All right, so if you've messed around with Bambu Studio 2.0 or are looking into it, one of the things that is very different than it was before is the filament sync function here. So before, when we hit the filament sync, it would just attempt to sync the filament, and map it out the exact way that is laid out in the AMS. And sometimes that was good, sometimes that wasn't. So now they give you an override mode and a mapping mode to help users sync filaments info more accurately from their AMS or external spool. Users can click on each filament preset box to manually select the corresponding filament and the AMS or external spool. So this is a fairly different than what we've been used to in the past. And you can kind of map these filaments any way that you want, or if you use the overwrite, it does it the same way that it used to before. All right, now that we have a model loaded in here, when we hit the sync button on the filament here, we'll see that mapping and overwriting. So basically you can kind of select these different filaments, and you'll notice that now that filament from A2 is mapped to the third here. So once we get the H2D, we'll play around with this a little bit more and show that. If you're getting confused on how to just normally map your stuff, just hit this overwriting button, and hit synchronize now, and all of your filaments are synced the exact way they are in the AMS. So let's go ahead and print this sample here and see what the differences are with just doing a normal print. And when we hit slice plate, everything is normal. We notice that we don't get the filament saver mode or any of that since we're in the X1C. But if I do move over to the H2D, we'll notice that the filament saving mode and all of that stuff comes up. All right, so now let's go ahead and hit print plate, and we'll see that we are introduced with a new user interface. The thing is this has all of the same options that we had before. They're just presented in a little bit different way, so we can still choose a different filament from here if we want to. We can refresh our printer and all of that. Before, we had 4 different options on the bottom where we had to put a check mark or fill in or put a little dot or whatever. Now those are just in these little rocker switches here. So if you hit advanced options, all 4 of them come back. So time lapse, use AMS, auto bed leveling, and flow dynamics calibration. What's cool about this is these options we usually just leave on, and it's just the time lapse that we're turning on and off. So it makes it a little bit cleaner and, just simpler to do a print if this is the only thing that you're ever changing. All right, so here we are in Orca Slicer, which also had an update recently. But what we will see is we don't have the option for the H2D. So I don't see anything in here for the dual nozzle or the H2D or anything like that. So that is one difference that I see right now between the Studio and Orca Slicer. All right, so with the release of Bambu Studio 2.0, does this mean that you need to delete Orca Slicer off your machine and get rid of it? Not necessarily. If you're just using everything but the H2D, I'm not sure that this is enough stuff to really warrant a switch from Orca Slicer over to Bambu Studio. Yeah, I just don't see enough stuff there in the user interface or the cool little pictures with the printers or anything like that to move from Orca Slicer to Bambu Studio 2.0. But if you are going to use a H2D or have ordered one of those, then it looks like for at least right now when this video was recorded, that Studio 2.0 is going to be the only option that allows you to print with it. So we noticed that Orca Slicer does not have that option. I would imagine that they'll have that option pretty soon, so we'll take a look at that. Maybe by the time my printer arrives, they'll have that loaded in there. So we will take a look at Orca if they do support the H2D in the future. But as of today, it doesn't look like there's very much support there. So I hope you found this video useful and you're excited for your new H2D as I am. And I hope that you learned a little bit more about some of the new features in the slicer that we can apply to the new printer. So if you did like today's video, be sure to smash the like button and hit subscribe so you don't miss the next video. I hope everybody has a great rest of their weekend and has a great week, and I'll see you on next week's live stream. Thank you for watching, everybody.